There's a simple truth that most people overlook. Your daily habits shape your entire life. The way you spend your time, the thoughts you focus on, and the actions you take, all add up to create your reality. A few months ago, I decided to make some intentional changes to my routine. I wasn't looking for a complete life overhaul, just small adjustments that could make a real difference. I didn't expect much at first, but what happened over the next few weeks completely changed the way I live. The first shift was prioritizing deep work. I used to think I was being productive just because I was busy. But the truth? Most of my time was spent bouncing between tasks, checking my phone, and feeling like I was working without really making progress. I set a rule, one task at a time, no distractions. I picked my most important work and gave it my full attention for at least an hour before taking a break. The result? I finished projects faster, with better quality, and felt less mentally drained. One day, I worked on a creative project without checking my phone even once. I lost track of time, got into a state of flow, and produced something I was genuinely proud of. That's when I realized the power of focused work. The second habit was embracing discomfort. Every time I hesitated to do something difficult, whether it was a workout, a tough conversation, or starting a new project, I reminded myself, growth happens in discomfort. One evening, I almost skipped my workout because I was tired. But instead of giving in, I told myself, just do 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes turned into a full session, and I felt incredible afterward. That moment showed me that discipline isn't about motivation, it's about action. Another shift was simplifying my life. I used to hold on to things I didn't need, old clothes, unnecessary apps, even relationships that no longer served me. I started decluttering, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. I cleaned out my workspace, unfollowed accounts that drained my energy, and set boundaries with people who weren't adding positivity to my life. It felt like a weight had been lifted. One of the biggest changes I made was switching from consuming to creating. It's easy to scroll through endless content, watch videos, and feel like you're learning. But if you're not applying what you learn, nothing really changes. I made a commitment. For every hour I spent consuming content, I had to spend an equal amount of time creating something, writing, brainstorming ideas, or working on personal projects. Within weeks, I had more ideas, more clarity, and more confidence in my abilities. One night, instead of watching another show, I started sketching out a project I had been putting off. That single decision led to something bigger than I ever expected. And finally, I focused on mastering my mornings. Instead of waking up and immediately grabbing my phone, I spent the first 30 minutes doing things that set the tone for a great day, stretching, drinking water, and journaling. One morning, I stepped outside and just stood in silence, feeling the fresh air, watching the world wake up. That simple moment of presence made me realize how much I had been rushing through life without truly experiencing it. These habits may seem small, but their impact is massive. If you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unmotivated, start with just one. Pick something simple, commit to it for a week, and see what happens. The smallest changes often lead to the biggest transformations. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one habit you want to start? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, your future is shaped by what you do today. Make it count. See you in the next one. There are certain habits that can completely transform your life if you commit to them, and I want to share the ones that made a huge difference for me. I tried these for just a week, and the impact was undeniable. At first, I wasn't sure if such small changes could actually make a difference. But once I started, I realized how powerful they were. These aren't just random tips. You'll see exactly how they fit into daily life and why they work so well. If you're looking for ways to be more productive, feel better mentally, and create a positive shift in your routine, you'll want to stick around. The first habit that changed everything for me was waking up early. Now, let me be honest, I was never the kind of person who enjoyed mornings. I loved staying up late, and the snooze button was my best friend. But I decided to give it a try, just for a week. The first few days? Absolutely brutal. Waking up at 5 a.m. felt impossible. My body resisted, and my brain kept telling me to go back to sleep. But by the third day, something shifted. The early mornings started to feel peaceful rather than exhausting. There was no rush, no noise, no distractions. I suddenly had time for things I'd been putting off. Some light exercise, a quiet moment to gather my thoughts, even just enjoying a cup of coffee without hurrying. One morning, I stepped outside and watched the sunrise, something I hadn't done in years. In that moment, I realized why people swear by early mornings. It wasn't just about having more time, it was about starting the day with intention rather than stress. Another habit that made a massive difference was exercising daily. I used to make every excuse possible to avoid working out. I was too tired, too busy, or I'd just do it tomorrow. But I committed to just 20 minutes a day, and the results were incredible. At first, my body ached, and I didn't enjoy it. But by the fourth day, I started to feel different. I had more energy, my mood improved, and I felt stronger, both physically and mentally. It wasn't about losing weight or building muscle, it was about taking care of myself. Whether it was yoga, jogging, or just stretching, moving my body every day became a form of self-care. One of my favorite moments was going for a jog early in the morning. There was something freeing about being alone with my thoughts. Just me and the open road. I felt connected to myself in a way I hadn't in a long time. Journaling was another game changer. I always thought journaling was something only super organized people did, but I gave it a shot for a week, and it completely changed my perspective. Every night before bed, I spent just 10 minutes writing. At first, I didn't know what to say, but as I kept going, I found myself opening up, writing about my day, my thoughts, my worries, and my wins. It was like having a conversation with myself. One night, I wrote about a stressful day at work. Seeing my thoughts on paper helped me process them differently. I realized what I could control and what I needed to let go of. It gave me clarity and made me feel more in charge of my emotions. I also started writing down 3 things I was grateful for every day. This small habit shifted my focus. Instead of dwelling on problems, I started noticing the good things in my life. Looking back at my entries at the end of the week, I felt a deep sense of appreciation for even the little moments. Another powerful change was practicing mindful eating. I didn't realize how much I was eating out of habit rather than hunger, grabbing snacks while watching TV or rushing through meals without really tasting them. For 1 week, I made a conscious effort to slow down and actually enjoy my food. I ate without distractions, paid attention to the flavors, and stopped when I felt full. It made a huge difference. Not only did I feel more satisfied with my meals, but I also started making healthier choices naturally. One day, I found myself craving something sweet after dinner. Instead of grabbing a snack out of habit, I paused and asked myself if I was actually hungry. I realized I wasn't, I just wanted something to do. So, I made a cup of tea instead, and the craving passed. It was a small moment, but it showed me how much of my eating was based on routine rather than need. Another major shift came from reducing my screen time. Like most people, I was constantly glued to my phone, scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or checking notifications out of habit. I decided to set a limit: no unnecessary screen time for more than an hour a day. The first couple of days were tough. I kept reaching for my phone without thinking. But once I got past that, I started noticing how much more time I had. Instead of wasting hours online, I read, went for walks, and spent more time just being present. One afternoon, I sat at a cafe with nothing but a notebook. No phone, no distractions, just me and my thoughts. It felt amazing. Another unexpected benefit was better sleep. I stopped using my phone before bed, and within days, I noticed I was sleeping deeper and waking up feeling more refreshed. Cutting back on screen time didn't just give me more hours in the day, it made those hours feel more meaningful. By the end of the week, I realized these habits weren't just small changes. They completely transformed how I felt, how I thought, and how I approached my day. And the best part? They were simple, doable, and made an immediate difference. If any of these habits resonate with you, I encourage you to give them a try. You don't have to change everything at once. Just pick one and see how it feels. The key isn't perfection, it's progress. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried any of these habits before? Which one are you excited to start? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a little inspiration. Remember, small changes lead to big results. Keep growing, keep evolving, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay awesome.